Hello, and welcome to Small Town Big Screen. I am one of your hosts, Kyle Robertson.
And I'm Manny Manuel.
And today we are back again in the chairs to talk about another local Kamloops movie. Who'd have thought?
Shocker.
Right?
Right.
Crazy. Today it is An Unfinished Life, which isn't just a Kamloops effort. So, Manny, why don't you take us into the quick little facts you got?
For sure. So, An Unfinished Life was released on September 16th, 2005, directed by Lasse Hallström, written by Mark Sprague and Virginia Cora Sprague, starring Robert Redford, Morgan Freeman, and Jennifer Lopez. Metascore of 49, a Letterboxd score of 3.1. For awards and nominations, the Genesis Awards, it won Best Feature Film, and the Canadian Network of Makeup Artists, it won Best Makeup Artist for Jane DeCose. The filming locations include Ashcroft, Medicine Hat, Alberta, Vancouver, and Kamloops, British Columbia. The plot: desperate to provide care for her daughter, down on her luck, Jean moves in with her father-in-law, from whom she's estranged. Through time, they learn to forgive each other and heal old wounds. Kyle?
Yes, man.
Why don't you share your spoiler-free thoughts on An Unfinished Life?
Yes, of course. I had no idea what to expect going into this. I watched it twice in preparation for the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Not for any reason other than we thought we were going to be shooting it and then rescheduled. So I had watched it for the original date, and then it took us so long to reschedule. Oops. That I just needed to watch it again to feel like I had real things to say. I thought it was pretty good. I was pretty happy with it. I think it's a really cool, just like relationships story, like not in a romantic way necessarily, but just in like how human beings interact with each other. It's this deeply complex family dynamic and all of these people kind of learning to live with each other and interact with each other and what they're forced to do out of obligation, et cetera, et cetera. I really enjoyed Robert Redford, Morgan Freeman. Jennifer Lopez is quite good. I think out of the, I think I would probably put them. Robert Redford and Morgan Freeman are so like they're competing for first. I think Robert Redford just narrowly takes it. He gets a lot more to do, in fairness.
Mm-hmm.
But Morgan Freeman is like genuine. Like he just is so naturally this character. He's so good.
He's unreal.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen him be bad.
Yeah.
Like not even close.
Yeah.
Like I've never been like, that's Morgan was okay.
Yeah.
That's never occurred.
Yeah. This one felt like it just wasn't a character. Like it just felt like it was like a dude, you know, which was awesome. Jennifer Lopez doesn't quite break into those two.
I agree.
But I think she's still pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, delivers an effective performance, I'd say. So yeah, I had a fun time with this. It also really showcases the area that we're in and areas that are part of our film district as well. So even though they're not Kamloops, I should say, they are part of our regional district.
Yep.
So yeah, I had a lot of fun with it. Again, didn't know what to think going into it, but I was pretty happy with it.
Sweet.
So how about you, Manny?
So this was a first watch for me. I'd never seen this movie before.
I forgot that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Look how shocked you are.
I totally thought you'd seen it.
Because it's so rare.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. I also forgot that this was directed by Lasse Hallström, who we just reviewed another movie of his on another podcast.
I can't remember.
The Cider House Rules.
Oh, that's right. Oh, that makes so much sense. Oh, wow.
Are you just making the connections between the two films now?
Big time.
Yeah. Okay.
I get it.
So I'd forgotten, and I got really excited because we while we're actually unsure of when this episode will be released, probably April or May.
Yeah.
Literally last week, we just reviewed the Cider House Rules on another podcast that we do together.
Oh, that's awesome. We should almost do just like a Lasse Hallström watch through now.
Well, we have another one of his films coming up later this year.
There you go.
Because he directed Chocolat, which we will be covering.
Right. Yeah.
So that made me excited. And then I was really looking forward to this. And I'm with you. Like, I loved this movie a lot.
Yeah?
Big time.
Oh,
like,
I'm so stoked.
I had such a great time.
Nice.
Now, this movie's kind of really playing into the things that I love. It is about, there's a deep male friendship, and there is it's a grandfather and granddaughter. It is a father-daughter relationship. And so it's right in my wheelhouse.
You're so right. This is such a you film.
This is, yeah.
Oh,
and
man.
it stars two actors I adore. Yeah. I love Robert Redford and I love Morgan Freeman.
Yeah.
I agree. The two of them are, my initial says they're at the top of their game. They're not at the top of their game. They've both given better performances in this, but they're really good. They play their characters perfectly. I'm going to push back a little bit on Jennifer Lopez. She is not at their level at all. And it's really apparent when she has to act, especially in a couple very serious scenes with Robert Redford.
Yeah.
She is not at his level, and he is blowing her off the screen. It is, it's not quite, is my favorite example, it's not Al Pacino and Chris O'Donnell in Scent of a Woman bad, but it's not far off. Jennifer Lopez isn't bad in this movie. In her scenes, when she's not with those two powerhouses, she actually is fairly good. Fairly good. I'll give her that.
Wow.
I'm not a J-Lo hater.
Yeah.
It's very rare that I think that she is actively good. I get it. Yeah. Actually, there's only one film for me where she is actively good off the top of my head. Yep, only one.
Wow.
Yeah.
What is it?
Out of Sight.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
The rest of the time, she's fine,
She's
or
really good,
there's a lot of times she's not good at all. So, I completely have forgotten the name of the actress who plays a daughter. She's really great and has great chemistry with Robert Redford.
Yeah.
I think one of the reasons that this movie really meant a lot to me is it melted my heart on how respectful she is. Like when Robert Redford is talking to her or gives her a chore or for lack of a better term, a command, she replies with yes, sir. Not in a military way, in a very respectful way.
Mm-hmm.
And it reminded me of my daughter, who is very polite and very respectful, and just made me so happy. And I keep telling my daughter all the time that it makes me so proud when she is respectful and courteous and uses her manners well. It means everything to me.
Nice.
And I've told her, I'm like, if you continue to do it, you will see benefits. And she has.
Nice.
She is so polite to everybody that, as an example, like at Rib Fest, she was polite to like some of the vendors and they would give her more free stuff. And they told her, like, you were like the most polite child I've talked to all day. They're like, here, have some more candy, have some more free stuff. And she come up, she's like, you were right, the manners worked. I'm like, I told you. It's sadly rare.
Yeah.
That being said, I loved this movie. I had a great time from start to finish. There's some parts of it that didn't quite work for me, but thankfully, the majority of the film is Robert Redford and this little girl and Morgan Freeman, which are the best parts of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I had a great time. I loved this movie.
Nice.
Yeah. So let's get into it. Our 5 favorite things. Why don't you start off this time?
I will start us off. My number 5. I'm going with the writing.
Okay.
I wanted to gauge your response to that. Another tough read from Manny. But I enjoyed the writing a lot. I think it was the author of the original book who they both of
The
them.
authors adapted their own.
The authors, I think so.
I'll
yes.
check that while you blather on.
Sprague sounds familiar, but yeah, I enjoy it. I think the relationships are really well thought out. I thought the backstory is really well thought out, and the one thing that I think you see sometimes when there's a movie about something that kind of happened in the past, sometimes you just get not all of the characters have the type of like lasting effects from it you'd think they should. But I think this one's really well thought out, really well planned out. Everybody's characters and motivations and the way that they are now makes sense in relation to the previous event. So there was one thing I wanted to highlight in specific, which was a line of dialogue that I liked the dialogue throughout. I thought it was very natural and well realized. But that last final conversation in the movie between Robert Redford and Morgan Freeman, where Freeman's character says, "Would you bury me next to Griffin?" And the response is, "Don't you think you ought to die first?" And then they start talking about life and those kind of things. I think that that piece of dialogue, that exchange is just awesome. Especially that first comedic line to then go into a very well realized Morgan Freeman monologue.
Perfect.
Yeah,
I love that.
Yeah.
Good answer.
Thank you.
All right.
What's your number 5?
My number 5 is I always want to try to, when possible, highlight a location.
Nice.
And so there's a scene with Josh Lucas and Jennifer Lopez when they're walking through these 3 white houses that are right along the side of a highway.
Yeah.
I drive past those all the time. They are right along the Trans-Canada Highway.
Oh, nice.
And if you take what we in BC call the canyon on the way to Vancouver, you will not miss them. They are by themselves in the middle of this big open field. I think there's 3 or 4 of these big white houses right there, right off the side of the highway. And as soon as I saw them, I was like, I know exactly where that is. And I got super excited. And they do pan out a little bit, and you do see that there is, and why I call it a highway, it is the old Trans-Canada Highway. So it is it's single lane both ways.
Yeah.
But it is the Trans-Canada Highway.
Yeah.
So I loved seeing that. And it always makes me happy seeing local locations being used that I recognized immediately. And I did. It was like half a second. I was like, I know where that is. I got super pumped about it.
Nice.
So yeah, that's my number 5.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love the use of that location.
Nice.
It's pretty sick.
Your number 4.
I think I've only driven past it like once or twice, but I like it. My number 4, Robert Redford.
Oh, yeah. Heck yeah.
Do you have him higher?
No.
No? Oh, wow.
No. My list are specific,
Okay.
not
Yeah.
generals.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like it. I went pretty general for this one. So.
Oh, shocker.
Okay. Wow. All right.
Just wait till people listen to the next episode.
Hey. How would you know? It's not out.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
They'll know exactly what I'm talking about when it gets released, though.
Yeah, they might.
Fire away.
Robert Redford. Yeah, I think he's an awesome lead. I think he is the best acting in the movie, and I'm going to get into something later and some reasoning later, but he's just awesome. I think he fully realizes this character. He holds together a lot of the movie. I mean, a lot of this is about him and his relationships. So he is just the glue that holds the movie together, and also all of the like cherries on top and all of that, all of the icing and sprinkles. He's just really, really good. His transformation throughout the movie is awesome, and you already brought up his chemistry with the granddaughter is awesome. And he's also just like this like super cool cowboy character. You know, in the beginning, he beats up those guys with a coffee pot. It feels like so out of place in the movie, like looking back on it. But in the moment, it's awesome and it makes sense. So yeah, he's just like expertly portrays this character.
Yeah. The actress who plays Griff is Becca Gardner.
Becca Gardner.
Yes. Hopefully I can remember throughout the runtime of this podcast and give her the respect that she deserves.
Yeah.
Great pick. Do you have much history with Robert Redford?
Not a whole lot. I've seen some of his stuff. Something comes to mind immediately. I can't remember the title, but it would remind me of something like Clear and Present Danger, like a role that you could also see Harrison Ford in, I would say.
Interesting.
Like a Harrison Ford action movie, but it's Robert Redford. I wish I could remember what it was called. I liked it. I haven't interacted with his media a lot. I was recently surprised by just how much of a movie star he was when you were talking about it.
He was like one of the biggest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I had no idea. It was on the Jurassic World podcast. So yeah, that was like I can see why. 100%. I just didn't know. So I'm looking forward to interacting with more of his roles and more of his films.
I'd recommend Sneakers.
Okay.
Really fun.
Yeah.
Think kind of like not quite at this level what I'm about to compare it to, but in that vein.
Yeah.
Similar to Ocean's 11.
Okay.
Okay. You have to watch All the President's Men.
Okay.
And you have to watch Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, with him and Paul Newman, you immediately see why these were the two biggest movie stars of their time.
Nice.
And the opening scene, their chemistry is so electric. Yeah. You're just smiling the whole time. You're just like, I get a whole movie of these two guys just doing this? Yes, you do. And it's unbelievable.
Nice.
I love that movie. I love that movie, but my favorite scene is still the opening scene. It's so great. These two are amazing. Robert Redford is phenomenal. Spy Game is another fun one if you want a little...
I've seen Spy Games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With Brad Pitt?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
It's very good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, I'm glad. You should start learning some more of your film history since you work in the industry.
I guess, yeah.
Pay homage to the people that came before you, my friend.
Yes. I'm on... Just to bring it back to this, 2 film podcasts that have independently covered Lasse Hallström, and I did not connect those dots.
Yeah.
I have work to do.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying.
So anyway.
I try to nudge you along to help you.
You're doing a decent job.
Yeah, if you would just listen to what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Just do what I say, your life will be enriched.
I don't know about that.
Whatever.
Anyway, you're number 4.
My number 4 is a fun one that you might not even remember.
Okay.
Because also every once in a while, I want to throw in just a little moment that maybe doesn't really stand out for a lot of people, but it legitimately made me laugh out loud.
Yeah.
There's a scene where Einar kicks the poop out of Gary.
Yeah.
And the scene is truncated by the cats meowing.
Is it really?
Yes. After he leaves them in his car and walks away off camera, the 2 cats are dead center and they're like, meow.
Oh, yeah.
And then the scene ends.
That I remember.
I died. I rewound it. Because it made me
really?
I laughed so hard. I was like, what a great tag for the end of that scene. I laughed so hard. I was like, that's ridiculous. I'm like, I can't believe you put that in there. It's perfect. It made me laugh so hard.
Nice.
So yeah, the cats meow at the end of Gary's butt kicking. My number 4.
I love that pick for you.
Thanks.
I do remember that. I thought it was cute because of him not naming the cats earlier and all that. Yeah. So that's I like that pick.
Thanks.
I like that a lot. I wouldn't have picked it, but I get it.
Oh,
yeah.
Cool.
I did not rewind that moment.
I definitely did. Your number 3.
My number 3. so this is the reason I kind of put a caveat on my last one. My number 3 is Morgan Freeman.
Nice.
Yeah. So I have him above Robert Redford. This is a conscious decision because I think he is such an incredible supporting role in this movie. Even though I think Robert Redford is doing like more and better acting. Like he's got a bigger role. He's the kind of the lead of not the story, but I would say he's kind of takes away the movie a little bit. He is so well supported by Morgan Freeman that I kind of feel like if it was not Morgan Freeman, it might have been a little bit of a different story because their chemistry is just so awesome.
Oh, it's
and
incredible.
Their friendship makes a lot of these scenes so much better. Their reaction to Becca something, the granddaughter.
Griff.
Becca Griff.
Oh, sorry. Becca Gardner.
Becca
The
Gardner.
character's name is Griff.
Yes,
My
Becca Gardner
apologies.
playing Griff. So when Griff thinks that they're a gay couple, their reactions are perfect, like spot on. When at the end, when he reveals he also has a pistol after that fight you were just talking about, like Morgan Freeman is just so good. He's great with Griff. His reaction to other people reacting to seeing his injuries is awesome. It's just incredible. So I think he built up all of the other performances around him. Not that Robert Redford didn't, but in that supporting role, it's more his job, and he just excelled at that. And obviously he excels at his own portrayal. It's Morgan Freeman. He did an awesome job. So Morgan Freeman is my number 3.
That's a great answer.
Thank you.
Morgan Freeman should be the answer for everything.
Oh,
He's magnificent.
yes.
He's one of my all-time favorite actors. I love him so much. One of the reasons that I love him so much is, and maybe one day I'll have to try and show you, his facial, the way his face is formed, and his eyes, and the way he speaks, not his voice, the way he speaks, his cadence, reminds me of my father.
Nice.
And so I've always seen Morgan Freeman as like a fatherly figure because of that. And the majority of the roles that he's played a fatherly figure. So the 2 earliest movies I can recall of Morgan Freeman came out in the same year with another movie. He had 3 movies in the same year. One Best Picture, which was Driving Miss Daisy, but that's not the movie. It's Glory and Lean on Me. And he plays a very father-like figure. He plays a principal in one, and I think he ends up becoming a sergeant in a Civil War battalion, the first African-American support battalion. Great movie. It's Denzel's first Oscar win, and it's unbelievable.
Nice.
Morgan's great in it. So from that moment on, Morgan's just been my boy. And then we get the 90s run where we have Seven and Shawshank and Deep Impact and a plethora of other incredible movies, Unforgiven, right? He's just absolutely spellbinding in everything he does. And this movie, he's much more reserved. This is actually very similar. It's a very similar performance to the one he wins for an Oscar for just a few years later in $1 Million Baby. The makeup on him is fantastic.
Yeah.
It did win a Canadian award for it, and it's easy to see why. It looks very believable. His nuances and the way that he reacts to people reacting to him, and his reactions to things around him, the way he uses his face, the way he uses his eyes, he is an ingenious actor. I love that you have him on your list at number 3.
Nice.
My number 3 is I'm gonna sing the praises of Jennifer Lopez in a scene that she shares with Robert Redford where they both confront the trauma of their past.
Yeah.
And it is a very powerful scene. They are both admitting to their true feelings and the things that have kept them apart. We learn early in the movie that Einar didn't even know they had a granddaughter because Jennifer Lopez were they married? Yes.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. So Jennifer Lopez was married to Einar's son, who we learn died. We're unsure how. And she was pregnant at the time, and after his death, she ran away. And it's in this scene, everything's hinted at and all this, but this is where we get the details so we understand why she ran away. And it's understandable why she would. But at the same time, it's because of what she did, it's understandable why Einar basically hates her.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a really well acted scene. J-Lo does her best, which is fine, but Robert Redford is magnificent in the scene. This might be my favorite acting moment of his in the movie. So, yeah, it's my number 3.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's a great pick.
Thanks. Yeah. Your turn.
My turn. My number 2. So I am going with something that we take a nod to quite often on this podcast, the cinematography.
Oh.
I really like how this is shot.
Okay.
It's not anything other than realistic, but it's so beautiful. Just everything looks so good. I mean, this was shot in a beautiful area. Obviously, we say this time and time again, utilizing the landscape extremely well. But yeah, just every shot was extremely well balanced, very well lit, very, very nice to look at, but not unrealistic. You know, it wasn't surreal or anything like that. The cinematography serves the story extremely well, and I think it was excellent. Very well executed.
Nice. Yeah. I didn't really notice the cinematography as much in this one.
And I think that's part of why I loved it so much, was it just fits.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
And that's part of what you're trying to do. I know like cinematography is one of the few things where you get to be flashy and just take a moment to yourself. But pretty much every other department is just trying to blend in for the most part. Unless you're in something like a period piece and maybe costumes is like big or showy or something like Barbie where the production design just goes off. And I think it's nice, and I like to take note when something like cinematography, which is supposed to be usually a little bit flashier, is extremely well done and just fully natural to the story and everything that's going on.
All right.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah.
My number 2 is a nod to Morgan Freeman's performance in a moment and specifically.
Nice.
It is when Mitch is staring at the bear when he goes to visit the bear at the zoo. It is a wordless scene. It is Mitch staring at the bear staring at him, and Morgan Freeman is unbelievable.
Nice.
You know everything that he is thinking in that moment because of what Morgan Freeman's doing. I found it intense and just a delicious moment. Nice. I had to have it on my list. It's my number 2.
Nice. That's awesome. Yeah, that's a great scene. I can't imagine what it would be like to be acting against a grizzly bear.
Yeah.
But well done to him. I think he did a great job.
Thanks.
Yeah.
All right. Your number 1.
My number 1. I'm getting specific.
No.
Yeah. Breaking the trend. So, my number 1 is Morgan Freeman and Robert Redford fighting about the truck that Einar is fixing.
Okay.
That is such a man friendship.
Yes.
Like the unspoken ridicule.
Yes.
That tone of like he's genuinely trying to help.
Mm-hmm.
But very naturally condescending at the same time. And they're outright rude to each other at the blink of an eye and pretty aggressive. But what sealed the deal for me, and I can't remember the line verbatim, like the verbatim.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But I don't even think I would be allowed to repeat it.
Probably not.
In this space. But Morgan Freeman says something just kind of under his breath, like in disbelief at the offense of Einar, and his insult, whatever was said. He just kind of says something to himself a little bit in like pulling back a little bit of disbelief, and it's just so perfectly delivered. It reminds me of all of the arguments I have with my close friends that are just stupid and pointless, and with my brother as well, just like the knives that will stick into each other and twist for absolutely no valid reason at all, and then totally forget about it and move on.
Yeah, that's how men show affection.
100%.
Yeah.
So I think that they just portrayed it perfectly, and this scene, both times I watched, puts a massive smile on my face. I love it.
Sweet.
Yeah.
So your number one is very close to my number one.
Yeah.
Because you kind of mentioned it earlier. My number one is Mitch and Einar at the end of the movie.
Nice.
Them
Nice.
sitting on the porch and the back and forth they share, which I am going to share because I can quote it.
Yeah?
Yes.
Perfect.
So it is Mitch talking to Einar, and he starts a conversation. Mitch, would you bury me next to Griffin? Einar, don't you think you ought to die first? Mitch, it's going to happen, you know. And then Einar's, where the hell else do you think I'd bury you? It's where my family lies. And it got me this close to crying because, as I've said a million times, male friendship just gets me right here because my friends are my family, and they have meant so much to me and have done so much for me that seeing it represented on screen is just wins me over. So it's one of the many reasons that this movie just appealed to me to no end. So the ending of this movie is exquisite. And then, yeah, big sweeping, well, it wasn't a drone because they didn't have drones, so it would have been a helicopter shot going from them to Griffin's grave.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the ending is my number one.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love that pick. Yeah. No, I picked it for a reason. I'm glad I didn't go through the whole thing.
I know. I was like, I want to kick you.
Yeah. I love your breakdown of it. It's much better than mine.
Oh, thanks.
So thank you for making that your number one.
Okay, what didn't you like about this movie?
What didn't I like? I kind of left this to a game time decision because there's two things for me. I'm intrigued by what you're gonna say.
I'm debating between two.
Yeah. So for me,
Pick one so
Yeah.
I can have the other one. Go ahead.
it's just a little too slow.
Oh, okay.
For me,
Damn, that was mine.
yeah, the pacing it's just not quite there.
Mhm.
And you know what? I'm going to dip into my second one just because
Of
they're
course you are.
partially related. The pacing is like a little too slow, and then all of a sudden, the daughter wants to leave. And I was like, I get it, but it's also like very like sudden. So it was like slow. Like it wasn't that slow. Like this isn't a major complaint, but it just felt a little slow. And it's like, boom, massive plot thing. And then it's a little slow again. It was like they just wanted to show us one way of the relationships, and then boom, right into the next way.
Okay.
And then they just wanted to go back to taking their time. It's like a roller coaster. You're going like super slow up to the top, and you drop down to the bottom, but then you go slow again.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Pacing.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not going to double dip like you did. So
You just don't have the linguistic skill to do so.
no, I just don't want to waste people's time when you're only supposed to pick one thing and you pick two. So I am going with what I feel is the unnecessary return of Gary.
Oh, yeah, that's a good call.
So
Yeah.
it's fine to set it up at the beginning
Yeah.
as the catalyst for her leaving. But the story is about Einar and Jean and Griff reuniting and rebuilding their family from an unfinished life. Gary does not need to come back. You don't need that conflict to come back in to bring these two together. And in fact, his return doesn't bring them together. So it doesn't really serve any purpose except to add an element of danger, which in my opinion, is unnecessary.
Yeah.
So but don't get me wrong, like the scene with Gary getting beat up and the cats meowing at the end is on my five favorite things.
Yeah.
But it's completely unnecessary.
Mm-hmm.
So I wish it had been excised from the film. It could have tightened it up a little bit more, in my opinion.
That's fair. Yeah. I will say I really like that actor.
Yes. Oh, yeah. I'm not saying he's bad.
Yeah. No, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's he was on a show.
Life?
Nope.
No, I really like him, and I'm pretty sure he's in Life. I really like him.
Is that a TV show?
Yeah.
Okay. It's a movie with not a movie. It's a series with Claire Danes about terrorism. Homeland.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. He's really good.
He's really good.
Yeah. Yeah. I really like him. I was honestly really stoked to see all of the cast. Like I thought they were all
totally.
Yeah. Very good.
Yeah. I'm not a big Josh Lucas fan.
Oh. Okay.
And anytime I see him, he's just the jerk corporate guy from Ford v Ferrari. So, yeah. All right. So what's up next is our peek behind the curtain.
We're talking to Marian Truscott.
Thank you.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm very excited. I've worked with Marian a few times. So without further ado, let's take a peek behind the curtain with Marian.
Hello, and welcome to A Peek Behind the Curtain. We're here with our special guest, Marian Truscott. Marian, thank you very much for joining us.
You're welcome.
So we're here today to talk about An Unfinished Life. So what was your role?
Unfinished Life was my first big picture to work on. That's where I learned everything for wardrobe. Like literally, that was my school. They hired me to unload the wardrobe truck, so the cube van onto the truck, and then they kept me for 3 months.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
It was like, yeah, I don't know, I guess my work ethic.
Yeah.
I was on the wardrobe truck. I dressed BGs. I was on set as assistant to the costume set supervisor. I was BG costumer on set. I was second unit set supervisor. I was costume builder. I did breakdown and dyeing. Literally, when they figured out that I could do all this stuff, they sent half of their crew back to Vancouver.
Oh, that's awesome.
Nice.
It was like a fairy tale. It really was.
That's awesome. Yeah. And how long were you expecting to be on the show?
Well, they hired me for a day.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. To unload the wardrobe truck.
Oh, that was it?
That was it.
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
Yeah, that was sort of my trial because I had been I've been calling producers like every day, leaving messages for the costume designer, dropping off my resume, just hammering the production office.
Nice.
And as it turned out, David Ross, who was the artistic director at Western Canada Theatre, where I was working at the time, knew the costume designer. So he got a hold of her, and long story short, they brought me in for that one day, and then at the end of the day, they said, "Hey, can you come back tomorrow?" And literally,
Nice.
Everything that filmed here in Kamloops, I worked on.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think anyone that knows you knows your work ethic. I've worked with you a few times now. And you're everywhere doing everything.
It's balls to the wall costumes. Oh yeah. Yeah, nice. For sure. Yeah. I'm working as a designer now, which is cool because I ended up starting to do costume design for film and TV just because theater didn't come back as fast after the pandemic, and I had a chance to work on Outrunners, and that was my first design. And I don't know what happened, but I'm doing more film and TV now than theater.
Nice. Yeah, once they get you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Awesome.
So when you were kind of jumping between basically job titles, which one did you enjoy the most on Unfinished Life?
Oh, man. I really enjoyed the aging and breakdown. Yeah, like aging and dyeing and breakdown. Because back then it wasn't digital. So costumes had to be dyed so they would be correct on camera. Mm-hmm. So, and of course, An Unfinished Life was set on a ranch. So everything had to look old and aged, and everything was brand new. And Carhartt was product placement. And let me tell you, I got up close and personal with belt sanders, and It was great. There used to be a dry cleaner down the street from where the production office was, and we literally had them going. They were just putting stuff in and washing it on repeat, 24/7. It was crazy, and it was so much fun. And yeah, like I got to break down all of Jennifer Lopez's jeans that she got to choose which style she wanted, and I did all the aging and breakdown for Morgan Freeman's wardrobe, and I get to do a little bit for Robert Redford too. So
nice.
Yeah, and it was just like I said, it was kind of a dream come true to get that experience on my first big picture.
Totally.
Yeah, like it was just, even now I can't believe it happened.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Those are some pretty big names.
Yeah.
Especially for your first time in.
Yeah, but it's weird. You've got all the big people on set, but I really like to work with background performers and like the lower numbered characters and things like that. So
nice.
I mean, I don't get starstruck. I'm like, dude, they got to put socks on. So, yeah.
Did you get a chance to meet any of the main cast, like Morgan or Robert or Jennifer?
I did meet Robert and I did meet Morgan. I didn't meet Jennifer, but I did meet her dog. And she was with Ben Affleck then, and that's how I met him, because this beautiful dog came around the corner and I just made a beeline for the dog at Circus, and I looked up the leash and there's Ben Affleck and I'm like, oh, hi.
It's like 6'4", right?
Oh, yeah.
He's a giant man.
Yeah. And I was like down on my hands and knees playing with the dog. So like I said, I don't get starstruck by, they do their job, I do my job, and no one's naked unless they're supposed to be.
Nice.
Yeah. It was crazy. It was a really crazy movie to work on, because one morning we got up and it had snowed up in the valley while we were filming this. And so they had to get massive fans to blow and melt all the snow around the ranch house. Like, it was crazy.
Wow.
I've never worked on a project since that had that big of a budget. And literally we had a transport truck size wardrobe truck. Like, it was massive. It was 3 racks high. You had to use ladders to get to everything. It was just
oh, wow.
That's unreal.
It was. And when we dressed extras, I remember we were dressing background, as we call them now, in the back. It was like a big conference room or something in the hotel/bar in Ashcroft. And we had 100 extras in there. And they ranged from toddlers all the way up to older folks. And yep, we just kept
churning them through. Awesome.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Did you get to meet the director, Lasse Hallström, at all?
I did, because of course I was working as an assistant to the set costume person, and so whenever she needed to speak to him, I was there. So I did get introduced to him. Yeah, he seemed like a really chill, really nice guy to work with.
Nice.
It was there was always a really good atmosphere on set, and it was actually his birthday, and so we had a big cake for him at lunch one day at catering, and yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Is it? This is something that it's something I would usually use in a different portion of an episode, but I figure you're here and you were there, so I'm gonna ask you.
Hey, go for it.
I saw there's a rumor that he would play a lot of ABBA on set.
Oh yeah.
That's true?
That's true.
That's a real thing.
That's true. And we all got in our swag bags. We all got the ABBA documentary video that he shot. Yeah, we all got a copy of that. Oh yeah, there was a lot of ABBA. There was a lot of paparazzi too.
Oh yeah.
Oh, with Jennifer and Ben. Yes,
yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
Well, Ben wasn't around too much, but between Jennifer and Robert Redford, literally there was one paparazzi that hiked in 10 kilometers over a mountain ridge and down into the valley.
Wow.
They had a helicopter at one point just keeping an eye on things, and in I never met Jennifer Lopez because she was always surrounded by her entourage, and she always had a lot of security people. And those security guards were so much fun. We had a blast with them. Absolute blast, yeah.
Nice.
It was crazy. And Ashcroft just opened up the entire town for us. It was just, it was just the best.
Awesome.
Yeah.
What would have been your least favorite part about working on that movie?
Well, because I was working as a local hire, I had to drive from Kamloops to Ashcroft.
Every day.
Every day. And after about a week, I said, skip that. And I just paid for my own room. And then eventually, because they kept me around, then they started paying for my accommodations. But,
Nice.
But, yeah, I mean, film and TV, it's a lot of hurry up and wait. But I'm the kind of person that I'm a sponge, so I absorb everything that's around me. So I don't know. I didn't find anything that I didn't love about the experience because it was a once in a lifetime kind of thing.
Awesome.
Yeah, it was pretty neat.
Good.
Nice.
So what is one memory you have from the making of that first movie that you will take forever?
Oh, that's easy. I had to get up at 3 a.m. one morning and drive out to the Dead Man Creek Vedette Gold Mine Road, and we were filming. I was second unit set supervisor, and we were filming the sheriff. I think it was the sheriff character on horseback, riding a ridge, and the grizzly bear. And it was just at sunrise, so we had to be out there super early to set up, and it was just completely magical because there's this huge grizzly bear and a man on a horse, and they're just, yeah, it was phenomenal. That and the day I spent on the south-facing hillside above Ashcroft, and it was like 108 degrees, and we had the bear out there. I'm not sure why I had to be there because I had no cast out there, just a bear. But I had to be there. And they were hosing the bear down to keep him cool.
Oh,
it was,
wow.
it was crazy. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that was my next question was like, what is the protocol when there's a grizzly bear on set?
You stay as far back. You listen to the animal wrangler, and there are no sudden movements. There are no. Yeah, I mean it was cool. Working, they set up the petting zoo or the zoo at the end at the provincial park or campground at the end of Savannah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there was raccoons. There was all kinds of animals, and they were all trained movie animals. And then there was this massive bear. Like you see the bear, and then you start to film, and they've built a cage for him, and they train him to shake the bars of the cage. And yeah, it's incredible. And they get him to bellow, and literally it's unbelievable.
Yeah, to see something that large, that kind of power in person.
And you have one guy that's working with this bear, and this guy loves the bear. I mean, I can't remember his name. It's been so long, but he loves that bear, and the bear loves him. And as soon as the camera says cut, then the bear is like nuzzling him, and he gets out an ice cream and gives it to the bear because that's his favorite treat. And yeah, it was amazing.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah, it was, like I said, it was like a fairy tale experience.
So compared to the jobs you've had since, and now you are the head costume designer for some other shows and movies, have you found with this one, since you had so many different jobs, but do you find is it easier or harder for it to do, because I don't know the rest of your filmography, but do you find a contemporary film is harder to do costumes for, or I don't know if you've done any period pieces or something set in the future. Do you find one type of time more difficult to do than another?
I haven't done a lot of period film. I have done a lot of period theater.
Okay.
Yeah. And The thing with film and TV is, well, not so much with film, but with TV. I've done a lot of TV movies in the last 3 years, and they're always filmed out of season. So they're always filming Christmas movies in the summer. So unless you've got a big warehouse full of stock, it's a lot of work to pull a costume plot together and wardrobe for BG in the middle of summer, and it's a Christmas movie. Like, I have to make far too many online purchases, which drives me crazy. I'm very much a shop local kind of designer. And I'm also a designer who is not afraid of upcycling or thrifting or, reusing. If there's a warehouse, the first place I go after my first design meeting with the director is into the warehouse and start shopping in there first. I'm not a designer that believes in just spending money because it's there. And I think that's because I have over 40 years in theater where the budgets are a water budget, not even a near beer budget. It's a water budget, and it's a tap water budget. Nice. So which is another reason why producers love me. I get hired to do all the really low budget kind of quirky things, maybe you want to call them, because I can really stretch my budget.
Awesome.
Yeah. And I don't use a lot of big name brands or anything like that either, but
nice.
Yeah. That's why I get my jobs these days.
Nice. Would you say Kamloops has good facilities to be able to do that, to be able to source costume locally? And
because I have been here for over 20 years, I have a really good idea of what we have and where I can find it. But unfortunately, I can't always shop exclusively in Kamloops. I rarely shop in Vancouver. I'll go to Kelowna. I'll go to Salmon Arm. I'll go to, fairly close. If it was a big budget movie, then I might have to go to Vancouver and shop. But Kamloops has a lot of boutique style stores downtown that are really good, but we don't always get the budgets, especially in movies of the week and shorts and things like that. I don't have a budget that I can stretch that far.
Nice.
Yeah. My favorite place to shop is the Bay. The Bay and Winners. And it kind of sounds like I'm doing an ad for them.
No, I also like the Bay. It feels Canadian.
Yeah. And they have really great return policies, and they have lots of sale racks.
Nice.
Yeah. And sometimes they'll give me the seniors discount on the day that's not the seniors discount, just because I'm doing a movie. Yeah.
Do you feel that Kamloops is a good area for TV and film to come film here?
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah?
We have the scenery here can double as so many different places. And it's not that we're just desert. We have incredible savanna grasslands. We have incredible forested areas. It's endless what we can double as for film and TV. It's so many different movies have been filmed here. I did a short that called Refuge, and we filmed it by Tobiano, and the short actually took place in Iran. Wow. So and lots of movies actually, Middle Eastern set movies get filmed here, and Kamloops doubles for Wyoming and Idaho and Montana and you name it. Yeah.
Awesome.
We do a good California as well.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Yeah.
That's all I got.
Yeah, that was all of my questions as well. Do you have any other fun stories or anything from the set that you'd like to share?
It was just a really sweet experience, and there was a little girl that played Jennifer Lopez's daughter in the movie, and they spent so much time making sure that she had the best experience possible. And kids go to school when they're on set. They're required to go to school so many hours a day, but catering set them up with cooking classes as part of schooling. And they got to run a camera, and they got to meet some of the less dangerous film animals. And that little girl just had a blast. And that was what really struck me, is how out of their way that they went to make sure that she had the best experience ever. And I was so impressed by that. And any of the other kids that were background as well. They gave them back, behind the scenes tours, and they just made their days really great.
Oh, that's adorable.
It was crazy. And, I'll never forget this movie. I mean, I was out in a cow pasture breaking down brand new Western hats for Robert Redford. And then I got to buy one of them, one of the sizes that didn't fit him. I got to buy it at the end in the wardrobe sale, and I still have it in my stock now.
Oh, I love
that's
that.
awesome.
It's been on stage in so many productions. It's just ridiculous. Yeah.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I'm really fortunate. And like I said, that was the movie that set me up. I had so much mentoring, and I met a whole group of people that did whatever they could to kind of promote me and to give me as much training as possible. And now I get to do that for other people. And
Pay it forward.
That's my big jam is mentoring.
Oh, I love that.
I mentor students at Thompson Rivers University in the theater department, and I did a demo reel here a few months ago for Mastermind Studios for a series we're hoping to get landed here, and I mentored people there, and yeah, I was very fortunate coming up in my career, and now I can pay it forward.
Awesome.
Nice. Oh, that's really cool. Yeah. Well, we appreciate you coming here. We appreciate having you on.
Oh, you're welcome.
It was really awesome talking to you. I love your stories, and I love your your final words there on your experience. It's always great when a movie just kind of turns out nice, and when everything's kind of
exactly.
Yeah.
When everybody feels like they can do their jobs, and everybody is working together. And I love working as part of a team. Even if I'm, even when I'm in the costume designer, I've always been part of a team. I never put myself above my crew.
Awesome.
Nice.
Yeah. Well, that wraps up a peek behind the curtain. Now we're going to get to Kyle's cool facts.
Yes.
That was a peek behind the curtain with Marian Truscott. Thank you so much, Marian, for joining us. You were so enthusiastic. You shared some really great stories. I loved it. It was awesome to talk to you.
Yeah. Marian's awesome.
Yeah.
I love working with Marian. She's awesome to talk to. It was really fun to hear her perspective on this.
It was. Yeah. It was awesome. All right. Time to get into Kyle's cool facts.
Kyle's cool facts. So, first up, we've talked about him a little bit already. Bart the Bear Jr.
Yes.
So Bart the Bear Jr. makes an appearance in this movie. His predecessor, Bart the Bear, died, I believe, in the year 2000.
Mm-hmm. I have a lot of experience with Bart the Bear.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
I'm glad I wrote it down. So this bear, though completely unrelated genetically to the original Bart the Bear, is owned by the same family of trainers.
So they own Bart.
They owned Bart and Bart Jr.
That makes me so happy.
Yeah. The Seuss family. I believe it's a husband-wife duo.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't know if they're related to Dr. Seuss.
I doubt it.
Come on. It would be so cool.
It would be cool, but I doubt it.
Let us know.
Okay.
Not you.
I know.
To the listeners
I knew
out
what you
there,
meant.
That was for you. Moving on.
Please.
You'll like this.
Will I?
I think so. Paul Newman was considered for Robert Redford's role. Unfortunately, his health decline meant that he couldn't take the role.
So this was around the time, this was right near the end of Paul Newman's life that this would have been shot. This would have been shortly after Road to Perdition, which is a movie I love. And Newman is unbelievable in it. I'm fairly certain he got an Oscar nomination for it. The movie is fantastic. It's kind of Tom Hanks' only villain role. Even though he is the lead in the movie, he does play a bad guy. The movie's fantastic. Newman in this role, that's honestly a really tough.
Yeah.
Newman's so good. No, I like. Oh, I'm so happy you said that. I'm gonna stick with Redford because of how much I enjoyed this movie, but Newman could have killed this as well.
Yeah.
Oh, what a great. Damn it. Fantastic.
Nice. So moving on. I think you'll like this too.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah. So in Mitch's home,
Yeah.
Morgan Freeman, there is a painting that depicts the character he plays in Glory.
No.
Yeah, supposedly.
I'm going to watch this movie again.
Yeah, so I didn't go back and check, but apparently there is a painting of a Civil War man that appears to be Morgan Freeman. And so
I'm watching this movie within the next 2 weeks.
there you go.
And I'm going to watch Glory, and then I'm going to watch this.
Nice. Good call. So yeah, the prevailing theory is that it's a reference to his character.
Oh, that rules.
Right?
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Big cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I'm doing good today.
You are.
Hey, here we go. This I spoiled because I confirmed it with Marian, but director Lasse Hallström played a lot of ABBA on set as a way to help inspire the cast and crew. Not creatively, just get them stoked.
Okay.
I'm assuming.
I was like, I can't think of, I guess maybe some of like the more lighthearted scenes that would work, but there was quite a few dramatic stuff. I'm like, I couldn't imagine listening to ABBA and then getting into something deep about my son be killed in an auto crash.
Yeah, probably not.
Okay.
He also, as Marian mentioned, apparently it was a crew gift, but he directed a like documentary about ABBA as well. So yeah, pretty cool.
It's always
also they're all Swedish too.
Yeah,
obviously.
It's always surprising when you find out or you hear about these big time filmmakers that make documentaries, like Scorsese.
Yeah,
who's made like 4 or 5 incredible.
Also the like music video for
Michael Jackson.
Yeah, for Michael Jackson.
He did bad.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
And then you also hear like David Fincher doing commercials kind of thing.
Well, Fincher started his career.
Yeah.
Don't get me started on Fincher. Fincher started his career on commercials and then did music videos and then got into film.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Fincher did a Michael Jackson video too.
Nice.
Yeah. Just saying.
Well, there you go. I guess I missed my time. I can't do any more Michael Jackson videos. I'll never be one of the greats.
I don't think that was ever in danger.
That hurts. And just for that, I'm ending with objectively one of my worst cool facts. But I thought it was cool. The 1966 Mercury truck, Einer's truck, that is depicted in this film was only sold in Canada.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
That exact, like that version.
That exact model.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. So it would be difficult to get it to Wyoming.
That's fair.
Yeah. Not impossible.
All right.
But unlikely.
You were right. That is your least interesting fact.
100%. And you deserve it because that was mean. But that's all I've got for the general cool facts.
All right. Now time for small town impact.
I guess.
Cinematic imprint.
I guess I can do it. I do it every time.
Please do.
In this film, Kamloops is not alone in depicting Wyoming. We team up with Ashcroft and Spence's Bridge. As a trio, I think we quite effectively show Wyoming, but our area, as Marian also alluded to, because Marian just beat me to all of these.
She really did.
She's so good.
Yeah.
But
maybe I'll get her to host with me next time.
That's probably a good idea. She may have made that Lasse Hallström connection a little earlier than me.
Yeah.
We're really good at playing the Midwest. We're really good at doubling as a lot of places. So especially when you put us in collaboration with one of the other municipalities within our regional district or close. The ability to use our landscape around Kamloops, as well as the landscape in, say, Ashcroft and Spence's Bridge, of course, but also to get their smaller towns and be able to show that aspect. You don't get that so easily in Kamloops anymore. Not that this is a big place, but we've had this conversation on the podcast. We're over 100,000 people. Like it's not this is a city.
You know, outside of the greater Vancouver area, is there like, 2 cities bigger than us? Kelowna and Victoria?
Yeah. Nanaimo is close as well.
Nanaimo's got to be close?
We teeter on the edge with them.
So we're still like one of the 5 biggest cities in this province.
Yeah, outside of the GVA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the GVA counts as its own.
Yeah.
As much as they all want to talk about,
Yeah.
We're Richmond, we're our own city. You're not. You're not.
Yeah. Especially
you are.
Surrey and Langley.
You are. Like, yes, technically you are.
I guess, yeah.
But I can tell you, anybody outside the GVA just considers all of you Vancouver.
Yeah. Big time.
Yeah.
It ends just before Chilliwack.
Yeah.
Chilliwack is a separate place.
Abbotsford.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the cutoff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Abbotsford West is Vancouver.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry to say. That's what the rest of the province thinks of you.
100%. But yeah, so just wanted to mention that because that's something, it's not really an impact, but it's something that we do often is we kind of team up with these other places to effectively show a story, and to, show these small towns, in these stories, but also have the facilities to accommodate a film crew, a little bit, more effectively. So, on that note, the natural beauty of Kamloops made it as far as the David Letterman show.
What?
Yeah, he, while interviewing J-Lo, I never saw the clip, but supposedly, thanks to, again, Terry Hadwin at the TNFC, who generously gave me this information, and we both tried to find the clip, and I don't know, man. David Letterman, get on this because I can't find it.
Okay.
But yeah, he in an interview with J-Lo referenced how beautiful this area is and how beautiful it looks on screen. So some international recognition.
Wow.
Yeah.
Jenny from the block, give us a shout out, eh?
Letterman gave us the shout out.
I thought it was
No, he was interviewing her, but he said it.
Oh, he said it.
Yeah. I'm sure she probably responded in kind, but to my knowledge,
David Letterman was the one giving us a shout out? Oh, I see.
Seems to be.
Okay. I thought she was the one promoting it on Letterman.
Well, she's promoting the movie.
Yeah, but what he's saying is he watched the movie and was
and Kamloops is beautiful.
And taken in by our... Oh, okay.
Yes,
gotcha.
Sir. That's what we're getting at. This film was a massive source of local gossip, apparently, due to this happening at the arguable peak of the Bennifer phase.
Phase 1.
Phase 1, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah, it was apparently... Ooh?
No, keep going, please.
Okay. It was apparently the talk of the town, was referenced in articles in Everyday Talk once in a while. Obviously, Ben Affleck, again, as we heard from Marian, was here for a little bit, made the trip here. I think realistically, J-Lo being anywhere is going to cause people to talk. So, yeah, the whole Bennifer, I mean, this is when we were combining people's names just because they were together all the time.
I feel like Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck were the ones that, I think that's where it started.
Is that where it started?
I feel like it was.
Wasn't Brangelina?
No,
was after.
That's after.
I have no context for this. I was a baby.
Brad
I was a
Pitt
child.
and Jennifer Aniston, I don't remember them being called Bennifer. Bennifer to me is always Ben Affleck and Jennifer Lopez.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, so this would have been, I'm sorry, did you say this was filmed in 2003 and it came out in 2005?
So it came out in 2005. All I know is that it wasn't made the year prior because I did see a note that Miramax had shelved this for a couple of years.
years. Okay.
Yeah, and then released it in a supposed flood of content in 2005.
Okay, so maybe this was filmed around 2002, 2003 roughly?
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense because I was just thinking the timeline. That's what I paused there for, whether or not how much your brother edited out. I have no idea.
Yeah.
But that being said, what I wanted to check on is that, like, Bennifer happened twice, and I'm not just talking Affleck and Lopez, because Affleck married Jennifer Garner in 2005.
Oh, hey.
And so I was like, these timelines are getting tight.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah. So I'd have to say that most likely J-Lo and Ben, this would have had to have been 2002. Actually, I could find out right now because I know when Affleck and Garner got together. but I don't want to cause more editing for your brother
Yeah,
just to
okay.
look up a silly thing. So whatever. So the timelines were starting to freak me out, and then I remembered you said this movie got pushed.
Yeah. Shout
So-
out to my brother.
Yeah,
Great editor.
great editor.
My final small town impact.
Okay.
This blew my mind. Genuinely. Had no idea. The economic impact of this film is estimated at $6 million.
What?
In our area.
That's amazing.
Right? So, seems to be by far the biggest impact out of anything we've talked about, financially speaking. Even Jurassic World Dominion, they were here for so much less time.
Yes.
So their financial impact was a little lower. But yeah, I mean, I didn't even really give credit to the fact that this was probably here for months.
Yeah.
Until we talked to Marian. And then I was like, oh, yeah, that tracks. That makes sense. And now this number being so high, I mean,
That's huge.
yeah, I don't know what gets considered into this, whether it's like tertiary contributions, like whether they count, like if you hire a local caterer, do you count the farms that they might get food from to make that kind of thing? Like, because that kind of counts twice. And I don't know how it works, but that's the number. Again, Terry Hadwin at the Thompson Nicola Film Commission, our amazing film commissioner, provided me with that number, something I never would have known or found without her help. So I just want to say thank you again.
Big thank you. That's
Yeah.
real.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Right? Anyway,
Awesome.
That's the last one I've got.
Okay.
So without further ado, it's time for us to attach a number to our enjoyment of this film.
Fire away.
Talking about it pushed it up a little bit. It is bordering on a 4, but I have to be a 3.5.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's an easy 4.
I kinda
This is
thought
the
so.
favorite movie that we've done on this series. Like
Nice.
running away.
Nice.
Running away.
I'm so happy.
I was so hopeful that this movie was going to be at least good
Yeah.
because we reviewed some not good movies. And
What do you mean?
I had a great time with this movie.
Nice.
I will be adding this into my collection. I will be trying to find a physical copy. If it's on Blu-ray, I'm going to get it. As long as it's widely available, I'm not going to pay more than a real amount for this movie. Otherwise, I'll buy it digitally because I would 100% watch this again in a heartbeat. I had a great time with this movie. I'll happily watch Morgan Freeman and Robert Redford rip into one another. I loved it. I had a great time. This is my favorite movie that we've reviewed so far.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm so happy to hear that.
Yep.
Yeah. Nice. I'm glad you liked it so much.
I loved
I was
it.
really holding out hope that the tail end of this you would enjoy more. And
Mission accomplished.
awesome. Yeah. This season has a good arc, I would say.
Okay.
You gave Power Rangers a 3.
I did.
Yeah. That's an arc. It definitely, it's a smiley face even.
It is a smiley face.
Yeah. Anyway, I guess that's it for this episode.
That's
so
it.
Let me tell you where you can harass us online if you so choose. We are on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok at Small Town Big Screen. We are on Reddit at STBS_podcast, and we are on Twitter at X, I suppose. Yeah, I refuse. STBS_pod. And if you are not social media inclined, you can reach out to us directly at our email, which is smalltownbigscreen.pod@gmail.com. Thank you very much for hanging out with us.
For Small Town Big Screen, I'm Manny Manuel.
And I'm Kyle Robertson.
Adios.